Namaskaram all. So last time we had stopped on agriculture related services and we are restarting it after quite a long period. So let me revise agriculture related exemptions from beginning only. So entry number 24 talks about services by way of loading, unloading, packing, storage and warehousing of rice. Why they have given it separately? Because rice is not an agriculture produce. This is what I have already told you that yeah. So rice is not an agriculture produce and therefore we have to provide a separate exemption for rice. Government wanted to encourage loading, unloading, packing, storage and warehousing of rice because for majority parts of India, rice is one of the common product that we consume on regular basis and we need to develop a good infrastructural facility where we can store rice in a appropriate manner. It is directly or indirectly related to this E entry, okay, loading, unloading, packing, storage, warehousing of agriculture produce. Please understand, for other agriculture produce, we already have entry. So if it is your agriculture produce, if it was paddy, if it was jaggery, if it was sugarcane, if it was some fruits, some kind of vegetables, some kind of pulses that we grow on agriculture farm. So for that we already have entry in point number E in entry 54. Apart from that extra, they wanted to incur like introduce rice here. Therefore, they had created a separate entry here. So technically, loading, unloading, packaging, warehousing of rice and agriculture produce is exempt so far. Okay. Service by way of warehousing of forest, minor forest product. This also we have discussed minor forest produce, bamboos and all, some extra forest product that we use on regular basis. Government is giving benefit for them as well. Next, service by way of fumigating in a warehouse for agriculture produce. So look at this. This guy is doing fumigation. That means he's putting some kind of gas so that we can protect this agriculture produce from getting infected through some kind of bacteria and all. So therefore, that fumigation services are exempt here. Then next item is very important item. This is the flagship item of this entry agriculture exemption. This is one of the most important items that you need to keep in mind. Service relating to cultivation of plants or rearing of all life forms of animal. All life forms of animal. It can include poultry farms. It can include goat farms. It can include pig farms. It can include fish farm. It can include any life form, but not rearing of horses. Rearing of horses is always excluded from exemption list. Please remember, they wanted to tax rearing of horses. Maybe the reason behind it is like only rich people take horses and it's kind of luxurious animal as of now. But goat, sheep, chicken, all those things are very common. So they wanted to give benefit to all life form of animals, but except rearing of horses. So please remember, stirred farms or rearing of horses are taxable services. Okay. So why do we cultivate plants or rear all life form of animal? So the very basic reason is for food or for fiber or for fuel or raw material or other similar product or agriculture produce by way of. So how do we grow agriculture? So by doing agriculture operation. So look at this detailed explanation for agriculture. Agriculture operation directly related to production of any agriculture produce, including what? Including cultivation, harvesting. So this is including, this is not exhaustive list. There can be some extra process as well. So including cultivation, harvesting, threshing, plant protecting, testing include testing of soil, testing of water, testing of seed, testing of fertilizer, which seed can be suitable to this land or that. Okay, so all these type of agriculture services or agriculture operations are exempt. Second, supply of farm labor is also exempt. So if you are a contractor, you are not a farmer, you are a contractor, you are having 20-30 workers with you and you are supplying your labor for road construction, then it is taxable. If you are supplying your laborers to agriculture process or agriculture activity, then it will be exempt. So for building material or building construction, it is taxable. For agriculture, it is exempt. You are just the contractor who is having these laborers and you are using them for different purposes. Whenever you supply farm labor, that time as a contractor, your service will be exempt. Next, some extra processes they are saying. It is also an inclusive definition. You don't have to read word by word, but still you need to have overall understanding of these wordings as well. Processes carried out at agriculture farm. Now this is not agriculture operation. Agriculture operation is already done. The produce are grown. Okay, the product is grown. Mangoes are already there, or oranges are already there. Grapes are already there. Okay, right now tomatoes or potatoes are already there. We are just doing some extra process on those agriculture produce to make it more marketable, to make it more easily sellable in the market. So look at this, some extra process carried out farm, not in factory, not in your commercial establishment. This is done at agriculture farm itself, and therefore this activity should also exempt, not only core agriculture activities. So tending, pruning, cutting, harvesting, drying, cleaning, trimming, sun drying, fumigating, curing, sorting. Sorting means, big size, small size, that kind of thing. Okay, grading, quality A, quality B, cooling, or bulk packaging and such like operation which do not alter the essential characteristics of agriculture produce but make it only marketable for primary market. You should not apply process on mango to that extent where mango has been converted into mango pulp or mango candies, mango pickles. So no, that cannot be done. You understand? You apply the process, you apply the basic process. If you have seen mangoes in city, they get in, you get that, wooden box and in which they put some dry grass and on that they put mango, they pack it in a systematic manner so that transportation becomes easy. That basic process can be done at farm, but do not process the agriculture produce to that extent where it becomes a commercial product. Okay, so this is one thing that you need to keep in mind. Apart from that, point number D says renting or leasing of agro machinery, not normal machinery, agro machinery. Now what can be the agro machinery? It can be tractor, it can be dumper, it can be sometimes JCB. So there are various agriculture machinery that we use, agro machinery. At the same time, you need to know majority of our parents majority of our parents are staying in cities like Mumbai, Kochi, Bangalore, and they are having agriculture land at their natives. So what we do usually, we let out those land to the local farmers, and those local farmers cultivate some produce, and we get sometime rent either monetarily or sometime we get share in the agriculture produce. In our village, usually it is sometimes 25% of agriculture produce to 50% of agriculture produce. That depends on the negotiation and the the suitability of the land. So that depends on various aspects. So that rent, that means your father is not agriculturist. Please understand, your father is working in some organization, but your father is having some agriculture land, maybe 10-20 acre at his native place. He is giving that land on a higher basis and he is earning rental income, maybe monetary or non-monetary. You know that in GST law, consideration can be monetary or otherwise. That means it can be in monetary form or non-monetary form. In ideal situation, it would have become taxable because your father is earning rental income, not doing any agriculture activity. So please understand, in such a scenario as well, we are exempting rental income earned by ordinary people by giving vacant land with or without structure for incidental to you. That means it may have farmhouse or it may not have farmhouse, but you are giving agro machinery or agro land on a higher basis. Obviously, you have to give your land for agriculture purposes. If you are giving land for movie shooting or any other activity which is not an agriculture activity, it will become taxable. Okay. Next one, agriculture extension service. What do you mean by agriculture extension service? Agriculture extension service can be covered as, come on, tell me. It can be Kisan training center, it can be Kisan call center, it can be Kisan testing center where Kisan can bring his soil and all. So it can be any Kisan knowledge center, it can be any agriculture extension service. So you are a private entity who is engaged into agriculture extension services. We are not doing any agriculture activity. We are just training farmer, train the farmer. So that training activity will also remain same. It will remain exempt. Please understand, I'm teaching you GST. There is a GST on my training fees. Okay. But if I was teaching you how to cultivate plants, how to rear animals, how to run poultry farm, how to run a fish farm, so then you can see whatever fees you are paying to me would have become exempted. So that's agriculture extension services which remain exempted here. Next one. Okay. For benefit of the farmer, so that farmers should get maximum benefit out of commercial market, this concept of APMC came into existence. What is APMC concept, sir? In APMC, a farmer can take his product directly to the market. So far as Mumbai is concerned, we are having APMC market in Vashi, Navi Mumbai. Okay, so in New Mumbai, we are having this APMC market where all farmers are not only from Maharashtra, even from Karnataka, Goa, some neighboring state, they come to APMC market, they exhibit their product there, and big dealers, maybe Big Bazaar, maybe five-star hotels, maybe distributors, they purchase that material and then they sell it in the local market. This reduces minimum interaction of agents with farmer, and therefore farmer gets better prices. This is what they say APMC. So obviously participating in APMC is not free. Of course, it requires some licensing fee, but any service charges charged by APMC to farmers shall remain exempt. Look at this. Services by any agriculture produce marketing committee or board or service provided by commission agent for sale and purchase of agriculture produce, not non-agriculture produce. Again, agriculture produce. If APMC exhibit juice or jellies or tomato ketchup, then that will be taxable. But for farmer, it should remain exempt. Okay, now. Next, services by way of fumigating or warehousing of agriculture produce. This is just a repetition. We are having dedicated entry separately. Next, now you are not doing agriculture activity. Now you are in factory, but farmers are bringing their rice, not rice, paddy, covered in that brown color cover. You have to put that particular paddy into the machine, so that machine will take out the shelf, and then you will get white rice out of that particular seed. Okay. Now it also happens in cashew factory. Cashews are grown on cashew tree. Those cashews are collected with nut. Okay, that we put in the machinery, and then the whole process we separate two layers of cover that particular cashew nut is having to obtain the cashew. Now this process happens in the factory. Please understand, it doesn't happen on the farm. So technically it should have become taxable. But friend, please tell me, will you ever purchase a rice which is in a paddy form? Answer is no. And therefore, if you have to bring rice in the market, that intermediate process is mandatory. This is what they are saying, carrying out an intermediate production process. Now, production process means this is done in a factory as a job work in relation to cultivation of plant or rearing of all life form of animal, except rearing of horses. This is what you already know. For food, fiber, fuel, raw material, and other similar product or agriculture produce. So that's fine. Intermediate process is also exempt so far as it is done in connection with agriculture produce to make it more suitable to the market. That's fine. Next, services by way of artificial insemination of livestock other than horses. What is artificial insemination? You might have heard crossbreeding of cows, okay, or breeding of cows. So what they do, they take sperms of bulls from different varieties and they inject into cows for better reproduction cycle. So that's artificial insemination. One is natural insemination, where they put these cows and buffaloes together, so they mate with each other, and then the next cycle of reproduction start. Here it happens in a factory, it happens in a scientific lab, where they inject it, and that's the whole process is called as artificial insemination. That is also exempt, but not for horses. For horses, it should remain taxable. This is what we have covered as a basic law. Whereas the analysis of this particular chapter will start in next lecture. Okay, agriculture exemption in detail we are going to start in next lecture.